What's up, guys? We're back. It has been almost 2 weeks. I have been doing a training course. Let me show you guys real quick. Drone GA Kiev. This is called Global Drone Academy. It's one of the highest rated drone courses in Ukraine. They do everything from FPV, combat FPV piloting, to Mavics, to drone interceptors, to jammer classes, to fixed wing drones, all kinds of really cool stuff, man. So one thing that's really cool about these guys is that their certificates are actually from the Ministry of Defense in Ukraine. So if you have one of these certificates, you take it to Ukrainian Armed Forces, you say, hey, I want to be a drone pilot legally. They have to consider you, or possibly, or they have to put you in, or at the very least test you to be a drone pilot. It's actually pretty cool. So just worth shouting out, or mentioning also. Not I realize I'm kind of in a unique position being here in Ukraine, taking all these different drone courses. So I wanted to share that information with you guys. This course that we took was incredible. It was a 2-week course. First week was simulation and theory, where it was an FPV combat FPV course. You do the simulation on the computer. You learn all about the FPV, and then the following week you fly. You fly everything from they're called tiny whoops, tiny drones, to 3, 5, 7, and 10-inch FPVs. Really fucking cool, man. So huge shout out to these guys, Global Drone Academy. Not a sponsor or anything like that, but it was an incredible class. So that's where I've been the last 2 weeks, man. I was out there with our buddy Pastor, who I was in the Azov's International Battalion with. A lot of you guys know him. We made a video last week with Pastor, and also we did a live stream in our Discord, a little Q&A with Pastor as well. Pastor and I, we got to hang out with a bunch of you guys. It was really cool. So make sure you're in the Discord. If you're not, we keep all uncensored footage there. We do a ton of there's a ton of Ukraine resources there, information about units to join, units that I recommend. One of those units being this one right here. That's what we're going to watch today. This is Special Team Athena, I believe is their full team. Athena is a unit in the DIU Legion, Defense Intelligence of Ukraine Legion, also known as Legion Gore. Anyways, very, very cool. We have heard it's one of the few teams I'm currently recommending foreigners to check out if they're on their way to fight in Ukraine. This guy right here in the middle, blue, is their team leader, their commander, and this guy is about as legit as they come, man. Really, he has become a good friend of mine, and he is one of the few commanders that I've met here in Ukraine that will be on the very first operation of a new AO or a new section of the front line that your team has moved to. Blue will go check it out, and not very many commanders go on missions with their soldiers. So a lot of respect to that, a lot of respect to Blue and Team Athena. Let's see what's up here, guys. This is part 2 of Blood and Sweat. We watched part 1. It's on the channel. Go check it out if you haven't seen it already. I know this was a longer intro, but I've been gone for a couple weeks. I'm back now, baby. So let's get after it.
You'll take my life, but I'll take yours too. You fire musket, but I'll run it through.
Country is fighting another country. This is a war.
Hey, merch, link in description as well. Hats, t-shirts, hoodies, all that shit.
We would rather have 10 fucking warriors than 100 sheep.
Stop! Friendly fire!
Grizzly, we might die today, so what, mate? We keep fighting.
And he's got a fucking dick on him like that. I can see where all the blood's come from.
As long as we can fight, we are going to fight. This is our mindset.
And we're going to go back for more, and we're going to kick their ass. That's the fucking plan. So for us to prepare the team, the most important thing is to be positive, and to keep that spirit. And for me, maybe only 5% of my guys ever, and I always call us the 5%, have that mentality. You see a lot of guys that make out they've got the mentality and they're these fucking tough guys, but we see who's who in these situations. So the most important thing is to keep the tempo up of the mood.
So true. Oh, dude, this is an hour long. Okay, we're gonna do this in a few different parts. Okay, that'll be cool actually. Um, so true what he's saying right here, man. I've said since I've been here in Ukraine that the combat here has a very funny way of pulling the authenticity and making people very honest. So the bullshitters that talk a big game, you realize when you're on an operation with them, are if they even make it that far to where they're on your team, you go on a mission, you realize they're bullshitting. There's also guys who don't say shit. They're very humble and they get on position, they get into a combat scenario and they're absolute demons, laser focused. So, it goes both ways.
Yes, we're going to fucking smash them, blah, 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 blah. But in the back of my mind, I know how serious this is. I know how fucking hard it's going to be. But at the end of the day, if they go where I go where they go. That's the motto. So, further to the conversations that we had previous, these are some of the guys from my team, the 5% that I was talking about. If you can remember me saying, if Colesberg did a machine gunner, this would be it. This is my fucking stud machine gunner. And this is my other guy, Coolsign 50. These are some of my fucking most solid guys. So we're going to do a small conversation about them. So the most important thing, the preparation, is keeping the fucking morale high and keeping the spirit high. So we have banter in our teams. It's just non-stop. We're just dark humor, just laughing, always laughing, even when you're getting smashed with mortars, chased by drones. So to keep that tempo high. But deep down, everybody's nervous and everybody's scared. Luckily for us, we didn't have enough time to sit around and think about this because it happened so immediate. Right, you're being pulled out, right, you're getting there, right, let's plan it, bam, bam, bam. And now we're getting ready to do it. So the night before, me and my 2IC, we made a declaration to each other. It would be him that would tell my son, I would tell his people, blah, 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 blah. If something happened, that would be. So now the reality is proper set in of what we're going to do. At this point, all guys are ready, but before you know it, the day goes like that. And before you know it is midnight. And like I say, it's an early infill, probably 4 a.m. So the preparation of the guys really is keep them busy. Where I've been so busy doing the recon and planning the mission, now you come back, everything they should have done while I was doing this, they're now doing now. So I'm a little bit angry. I'm shouting at the guys because they're down 0 in thermal scopes when that should have been done the day before. So the preparation is... pre-combat check what equipment they've got, and make sure it works, make sure the radios work, and then we're setting off. But to prepare the guys for this particular mission, I didn't really need to do a lot of it. We was always doing a lot of training in the last AO, but the biggest thing really is, like I keep saying, is keeping their morale high. That's the only preparation you can have for this, and being positive. I knew how fucking shit it was going out there on the recon, so I didn't, the infill is shit, and getting to the position is even shitter. But I told them that step by step as we went there. I never said, oh, by the way, in 50 meters, we're crossing a 400 meter opening. I went first, especially with my battle buddy, I went first. And all I could hear him shouting behind me is, this is so fucking gay.
All good? Oh, this is gay.
But anyway, back to the mission. So all guys were prepared. We got up fucking super early. The truck's now turned up to take us. And now...
That's exactly, excuse me, what I was mentioning at the beginning of the video. That was him and his battle buddy. Part 1 of this video, where they are basically doing the recon of the new AO that they're located in, area of operation.
We start putting on our camo paint, getting our equipment on, and nobody's scared. I can see it in their faces. You can see it from a million miles away. Everybody's set for the fucking task that's in hand. But a lot of guys, it was their first proper big assault, so they don't understand that in a minute fucking guys around them are going to be being killed and fucking losing body parts. Because they would be scared, because deep down I was fucking petrified. So we've got on the trucks. Oh, sorry, before that, we had a briefing with our commander. He gave me some extra antennas because I had to keep constantly in control, communication with command. So fortunate for us, there was a tree line position. It was about 150 meters from where the assault was going to start taking place. So I could see everything, and I could set up a fire support position. So the good thing was we could get communication from there, but we can't get communication directly to the guys. So everything's got to go via me, and then I would give the information to the command. So we had a small briefing, had a couple of photographs, which was funny. And I still laugh at these photographs now to this day. One of my friends, the crazy machine gunner, put the cam paint on, and he just looked fucking brown. It was fucking hilarious. So yeah, we had a bit of a giggle, and then we get on the bus. Now we're serious. Now we're on our way in there. We jump off the bus. Everybody's got all their fucking, but everything is like, it just weighs a fucking ton. And you're trying to maneuver, the ground's wet, you're fucking falling over. We then get into the tree line, take some cover, and you've got to take a breath. You've always got to take a breath, spread out, reconfigure yourself, do a radio check, set the plan of how it's going to be, because we had 2 assault teams. Normally, if there's 1 assault team, I'll go at the front, 2 assault teams, so I go in the middle. And then the first assault team leads off, keeping in radio communication. We had certain waypoints that we would say as we're maneuvering through. Guys were struggling a little bit because the terrain was fucking dog shit, and they got heavy kit on them. And we maneuvered up, and now we set up a staging area before we went to the staging area, because this is the vital bit. We had to maneuver over in 1s and 2s so they didn't see us, the enemy. And it was a lot of fucking guys and a lot of moving parts. So the first guy started maneuvering across, and then I made my way up. I maneuvered across to where I was going to be.
We talk about this a lot, just on this channel in general, but how important spacing is, right? It's like almost become an inside joke here. Spacing. And as part of what he's talking about here is, when you're maneuvering through these open areas, you got to space it out. You can't move as a unit, obviously, because you are going to be seen. It's not if, it's like 99% that you will be seen. But if you're seeing one person, a couple minutes later, one person, most drones are not going to see that. Most enemy drones are not going to perceive that as an immediate threat, right? It's just, to them, it's just some Ukrainian infantry soldiers, moving, resupplying, whatever, moving to a position. They're not expecting a forward operating assault attack, right? So spacing, huge, and it's also one of the reasons why moving to a position can take all day long.
And then the next guys took a little bit longer, but they maneuvered across sweet. Everything went fucking sound. But then when I got into this particular tree line, I did a small recon to the right flank, to what was in front of me, to the left flank, and I seen we had some good positions. I could put the machine gun, I could maneuver up and down, but most importantly, I could see everything. This is the right flank, and that's where the positions are, right there. I can visually see that part all the way up. That's the tip of the tree line there. I'm going to put my machine gun here, facing this way, and there's another position here that I can cover the whole side of this tree line going up, plus the grenade launcher. And there was two guys from another specialist unit that was on this tree line that gave me some information. The tree line could probably have 20 Russians in there, they said, which was a bit of a giggle. So I then immediately called the 2IC and a couple of the other guys over to have a small briefing. I gave them the information. I said there could possibly be some enemy there, but they don't know. But definitely there's blindages further back. So we anticipated enemy to be further back in the tree line, maybe 1 or 2 at the front is a forward OP, but at this stage, if there was, in our minds, the information we was given, it would just be like a small foxhole. So the guys understood this, and we had a whole plan set to when they was going to maneuver. One team was going to be on the left, one team was going to be on the right. So I then set up the positions. We had a whole set plan of when fire support was going to start smashing down on the positions. That was going to happen for 1 hour, and then after that, we then had another call sign out to send out, which would then start the assault. So
Fire support, excuse me, before an assault, right? So important to soften the targets, and oftentimes, for example, kind of one of the strategies that we had in the unit I was in during last summer is the vampire drones would go out, those big Baba Yaga drones, right? And they would drop big fat anti-tank mines or big mortars on these positions and either try to crumble the position completely on the enemy or make the position undefendable. So they kind of have to scatter, they kind of have to move. Basically, they're not focused on setting up for the defense of the upcoming assault that they do not know that's coming, hopefully. And then right before the assault to get the enemy down into their trenches where they're not looking down the tree line where you're coming. You hit them with either drones. It sounds like they're using artillery, possibly mortars, stuff like that.
We've then got in the foxholes. There was no on my tree line. There was no blendages. It was just foxholes with polythene over the top and a small amount of soil. So when we got down, they said get in the blendages because of the thermal bomber that flies around at night, trying to find you and fucking kill you. So we got in there, and this is the first time I've heard drones as crazy as this, because normally if you're in a blendage, it's got logs on the roof and you can't quite hear what's above you, especially when drones are flying around. You have to go out to listen. But it sounded like something off of a fucking spaceship film. Like, that's the only way I could describe it. And you can just hear it, especially the bomber fucking going over you. So I was glad to be staying in the hole, and I certainly wasn't going out of the hole. And again, we was having small comms problems when we was inside this, because you have to check in every hour, so they know you're safe and everything's cool, and the radios are working. But I said to the guys, no one's sticking their fucking head out, especially after hearing what was flying around out there. So we immediately, I think we may have got through once or twice on the radio, but 3:45, I was in.
Hold on, I want to share a story. Sorry for the guys that hate the pausing, but not sorry, because I know a lot of you guys like the stories. I've shared the story a few times, actually. Shout out, I got a new bracelet here to the person I'm about to share the story about. If maybe you guys can see it. It's Alfie. It shows Alfie's name, Luke Hinton, and then the quote is, "Who fucking wants it?" That was his thing. He'd always be like, "Who fucking wants it?" I thought it was fucking funny. Anyways, so it was Alfie's first mission. We were moving to we're very similar to this so far. We were moving to an area where we were supposed to set up, and then the following day we were going to assault a position. And we took some heavy artillery and drone fire on the way into the position, so it took us much longer to get there than we thought. So we had to stay the night in a different position than we had planned. Anyways, some of the guys on the team were able to move up forward and stay in some positions forward, and then about 100 meters back there was a position where I saw I was like, hey, I think I saw a location back there. We can stay. I'll take Alfie and I'll go back there. We'll stay in this position because we were in the back of the patrol formation anyway. So just easier, me and him peel off, go back to that position. And it was basically it was like bushes like this that kind of created a dome, right? And I thought we'll get up under there and we'll use one of our Mylar blankets, one of those space blankets, the thermal heating blankets that you have in your IFAC or your medical equipment. We'll use one of those and put it over us to kind of keep that heat signature in, and then hopefully these bushes over top of us will keep our visual signature very low. Anyways, so what I didn't know at the time, because it was getting dark, is these bushes were all thorn bushes. They all had these fucking nasty thorns on them. So we had to crawl in there, basically cuddle up together, get this thermal blanket over us, and it was what we called a drone highway. So all night drones flying up and down, flying up and down. You never know if they see you or they don't see you. And at one point there was a vampire thermal drone just like he's talking about, and it was the craziest noise I've ever heard. This was my first experience encountering an enemy vampire while on an operation, and it came in, and it's always the worst feeling when you hear the drones coming and they stop over your position, right? You're like, oh shit. And if you know it's a vampire, you know they've got a massive ordnance, an anti-tank mine or a big mortar on it, most likely, that they could drop, and there's not shit you could do. It would just vaporize you. And so we're under this thing, and I hear this thing coming over, and it stops, and then it gets lower, and it's like, no, it's like, just like he said, sound like a freaking spaceship, dude. And it was one of the creepiest noises for whatever reason, dude. It did not drop any ordnance on us. It picked back up and left. Maybe it didn't see us. Maybe it thought we were dead. I don't know, dude. But very similar story. We were okay. We survived the night. Very little sleep. Moved on to the position the following day. Got hit with artillery again. Had to stay the night in a different location. The following day, we were able to make the assault, clear the positions, and then exfil home. So
Immediately up, got myself together. By this point, the sun, like, it was light. It was daylight out. So I made me and the guys a coffee. I got my jet boil, made us a nice coffee. Woke up like a fucking woman, reapplied my campaign, reconfigured myself, done another small little recce, looked at the ground, and then
I have to. I'm sorry. Having a leader on your team who is, number one, confident, number two, goes on missions, and really, I'll just say that too, makes 100% of the difference of the mentality of the guys. When, like, when they were all in the vehicle, infilling to the position at the beginning of this, and he was like in the corner doing like, let's go. Seeing that as a soldier in that person's team, you see your commander like that over there in the corner. You may not show it at the time, but your confidence level goes from really ground zero to like 100. You're like, you know what? Yeah, we got this, dude. That's right. Let's do this shit. Let's go. And a commander who's 150 meters away from the enemy positions that they're about to assault, making them coffee and a jet boil, dude. You don't find commanders like this, bro. This is sweet. Oh shit, sorry guys.
because we was going to maybe put the machine guns down in where the staging area was, but where I was, it was perfect. So all the 7.62 ammunition got brought up to me, apart from the 7.62 for the other guy. So they came over, I just made sure they was okay, and now we're preparing for the assault. So at this stage, I was waiting. We had a set time for H hour, I'm going to call it, and call sign was Dynamo. So I was waiting to say Dynamo, Dynamo, Dynamo.
This tune is, this is blue. Dynamo, Dynamo, Dynamo. Copy, 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 over.
So now fire support's going over. There wasn't as much fire support as what the team expected.
Usually.
It was as much fire support as what I expected, because all the heavier stuff was going to go further back, and the smaller stuff was going to come forward, because we didn't anticipate enemy this close to us. Plus the guys are here, so we can't start fucking firing 120 mortars down, because it could possibly hit them. So I think the guys was a bit disappointed with the fire support, but for me personally, I understood the situation. So the fire support was going off. The guys now are ready. They're in their fire teams and they're ready to go. They're waiting for my command. And the command was Winston, Winston, Winston. So we're there. As soon as it finished, I think it was 0500 or 0600, I've gone Winston, Winston, Winston. Now the assault teams are now manoeuvring in. I was giving indirect fire, and my battle buddy was giving indirect fire whilst I came on the radio. So what happened, when I've gone Winston, 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 I've asked him to oil up the machine gun and give a couple more bursts on the right flank at the position they're manoeuvring in on the left flank. He's captured it on his GoPro. All of a sudden, all fucking hell breaks loose, and you just hear fucking like unreal amount of firefight. The PKM's going off. All of the guys, you can hear their silencers. They're now involved in a gunfight. Like I say, it was a lot closer than we anticipated.
Oh shit.
We were in parallel tree lines. We weren't in the same tree line. So our tree lines were like this. But we advanced, just because of the shape of the tree line, we advanced a little bit further than where our guys got pinned down by the heavily entrenched Russians. So almost immediately from entering the tree line, we could hear the machine guns opening fire. We didn't know whether it was Grizzly. We didn't know whether it was Russians. But we knew something was going down. So shortly after, we started getting contact from our tree line as well. So whilst we're trying to listen in the radio, see what's going on with those guys, we've also got our own trouble to deal with. once our contact had died down, we mainly concentrated on suppressing the enemy from moving further down the tree line, basically supplying more guys to the heavily entrenched Russians in front of where Grizzly and stuff was. We were calling in fire orders, like drones, 40 mics which we were utilising, and Blue with the rockets and the machine gun fire as well. Because of course Grizzly and Eric, they couldn't really see outside of their tree line, but we could. So we had thermals, we could see where the Russians were. I personally potentially mowed down 3 Russians with use of thermals to stop them coming down and supporting the other Peters that were down there. But it was hell, carnage.
So then I'm shouting, I need direction, I need direction. At this point, I don't know that my 2IC's team has manoeuvred across onto the right flank, because I told him to get through this brush, and then there was some trees here, use this tree cover, its cover to manoeuvre across onto the right hand side. At this point, something happened where they seen some mines, and at this point, he's seen that opportunity to manoeuvre across. He cleared a blindage, and they then set up on the right flank. As soon as they set on the right flank, these guys then took contact. And it was a bad situation. It was with a PKM, and the PKM machine gun was opening up and fucking smashing the guys, and I could hear it going off. And the other 2IC, which is my brother, Hakeem, I'm saying to him, bro, I need direction, I need direction. He then immediately, because all hell's broke loose, he's getting gunfire from everywhere, he's saying it's coming from 10 o'clock. Well, my worry was this position the Russians have just taken, they could start firing down from them as well.
The first contact, it was around 50-60 meters into the tree line we entered, which was invaded already by the Russians. They opened the fire just from their blindage to the left. Then I turned to the left and sprayed them with my machine gun. You could hear their screams and panic, if I can say. Then the real fight began. I don't know how many exactly there were in that.
He's Ukrainian, I think. It's cool to see a Ukrainian operating in a foreigner team like this.
Blindage, at least 5 of them.
I could be wrong.
They answered to our fire with fire as well. They had a machine gunner set down a PKM. Then they grenaded us. Then we kept fighting. It was a sudden. I first made sure to suppress their fire, since I'm the machine gunner and I can apply the heavy pressure. So I spread pretty much all my magazine, all my pouch, let's say, 100 bullets, so I can suppress them. Then we had to regroup to a safer spot where they don't have a clear vision on us, so we can fight and pressure them down.
So I've immediately got onto the HQ. Papa was the call sign. I need fire concentration on Papa. I don't think I quite said it is fire concentration. Now I sound like some fucking div in a film. I don't know what I said. It definitely wasn't fire concentration. It was like, fucking, I need you to blow up fucking Papa. In this situation, when this is all going on, these are my friends. So when I'm on the radio, sometimes they have to tell me to stop, slow down, and calm down, because I'm and they don't understand me. So whatever I said at that point was to concentrate the fire support on to concentration Papa. That was the call sign for this area. They then started doing that, and then the situation calmed down just a tiny little bit. They were still in a gunfight, and Hakeem's told me, no, it's directly in front of us. And I'm saying, what is your waypoint? On our combat vision, he can now tell me the waypoint. He's then told me where it is, and now I know it's directly in front of them, and there's nothing we can do apart from try to call in drones, but I need to know the position of where they are.
Moving.
Fire on green 598. 598 and 601 over. I've now ran over, grabbed the machine gun. He's like that. Directly in front of us, and I can hear the PKM going off again. So I then just fucking open fire, and I'm trying to maneuver on the machine gun, but my helmet was obscuring my vision. So I fucking throw the helmet off, and I'm fucking firing it, and I couldn't hear a fucking thing afterwards.
Okay. I know you guys are gonna think I'm just glazing this dude blue, right? But seriously, send me if you have it. Come to the Discord and send me a picture or video of your commander or your friend's commander, whatever, firing a machine gun in the middle of a firefight to try to protect his guys. You don't see that shit, dude. I'm just harping on it because it goes to show why I'm recommending the specific units that I'm recommending, and he's putting on a very a very good show as to why I recommend Special Team Athena.
I probably unloaded about 2 or 3 bolts down into that position, but there was another fire position over here where you could have a clearer line of sight. So I maneuvered across. When I got into this fire position, by this point, my adrenaline's hiked. I'm fucking scared to death for the guys. And they're telling me that one of the guys is now a casualty. But at this point, I just want to help them. So me worrying about the casualty was the most important thing, was try to suppress the enemy back to stop them. I don't know what's going on. So I wanted to lay down as much fire as possible. Then they've told me, now my 2IC has told me that they're taking fire from multiple positions in front of them. So now I'm getting a little bit excited because they're my friends and scared for them. So I then grab like 6 bull spike rocket launchers. I fire all of them immediately in the direction. Then I start firing the 40mm handheld grenade launcher, then get back to the machine gun. Everything stops now. Now we need to stop, look and listen. We need to understand what the fuck's going on in front of us. So I'm trying to get information from the guys. Most importantly, what happened to Soldier X, I'm going to call him. What happened to him? He's pulled back. He had blood all over him. He's injured quite badly. So my job now is to get him, to send a combat medic to him, to get him sorted out. So I said, where did he go? Don't know. So I've had to now send a combat medic plus the other guy who was helping me with the machine gun over to him to find him.
Sasha!
Yeah,
Here, come here.
yeah.
You two, come here. You go across there, and you go left. He is in the base, left. You need to
Okay.
go and get him and extract him straight away, okay?
Okay.
Go.
So they've now gone over to try to find him, and they can't find him. He's in a blendage, and they don't speak Ukrainian, so it was taking them fucking ages to go and find them. So now it's just me and another guy, and I'm trying to relay the information back to HQ. He's trying to relay the information back with HQ, but then at this point, because we've been firing a machine gun, we've started taking a bit of indirect fire, but the 50 cals behind us have been firing. So these drones don't know if it's our tree line or the ones behind us. This has gone on now, I don't know, for probably about 2 hours. Now drones start coming above our position, and the commander said, look, be careful, there's lots of UAVs above your position. And then the guy that was with me films the Baba Yaga, the vampire, above our position. And we thought it was the friendly one because he's dropped some bombs over on this position. But we stopped, looked, and then we wasn't firing the machine gun, and then they started firing the 50 cals behind us. 60 seconds went by, then it moved over to there. What I later found out, they've then maneuvered over to that tree line, and the guys in that tree line thought it was a friendly drone. Boof, it dropped the fucking 60mm mortar down on top of them and killed four of the guys over there. So that could have been us. That could have easily been us. We was just lucky. So now I'm trying to find out exactly where the position is, where they're getting contact, the other fire.
Such a problem, man, not knowing if they're friendly or enemy drones, man. Fuck, that sucks.
Our team, and I can understand the situation, that we're in a fucking real shit situation. We need to clear this position here, hold the line, and then regroup, because where they are and where this fire team is, there's a position here, they was taking contact from this position and contact from this position, and the gunfire was getting closer. So then I've said to my other 2IC, I've said, right, direct my fire into the position. When my fire comes in, I want you to, when you've directed it into where the enemy is, I'm going to fucking smash them, crawl up and start throwing grenades in on them. He said, okay. We laugh at it now, but it wasn't funny at the time. On the combat vision, the waypoint was saying he was on a particular number, but he was a bit more forward than what it said on there. So when I fired the machine gun, he was like, yeah, that's a good line, but bring it back 10 meters. So I maneuvered it, what I thought was 10 meters. I give 2 bursts, and he's just shaking. So I got the headset on. No, you're shooting on us. Him and the other buddy said that they was taking gunfire straight through the center of them.
Whoa! Stop! Friendly fire!
What they told me happened at this point, I'm going to add, what they told me happened, when they've gone through into the tree line, they've immediately took contact. The big machine gunners burst about 4 fucking clips into the position. They've then taken cover. This guy got grenaded. He's taken shrapnel all over him. His whole face was covered in blood. He's just ran back in shock, in a state of shock. These 2 guys now have taken cover, and he's unloaded the machine gun. And now they've ran out of ammunition for the machine gun. So they was involved in a fierce, horrible fucking firefight, but they still held their position and they still stayed there. They're fucking solid. Beyond all fucking means, they are solid. And they stayed in the fight until I told them to withdraw. But at this point, we've had one that he in shock ran off, covered in blood. He was wounded by the grenade. These 2 guys have taken shrapnel wounds. The big machine gunner took a piece of shrapnel on the back of his oblique and on the back of his trap. And if that was a couple of inches higher, that would have fucking cut his throat. He took that, and he took shrapnel to the leg.
So we got some heavy wounds in the beginning of the fight. Drone droppers grenaded us. I got a total of 7 shrapnels in my body. 1 is in my back, and I have several more in my legs. And the most serious one was near my knee, which broke later. I found out that the bone is broken. And we had to keep on fighting like that for another 7 hours. It hurts, but it hurts. First of all, it's the adrenaline, and secondly, you have another group to the right of you. You can afford to just play it like a dead animal and escape the battlefield. These guys rely on you, so you have to keep fighting. As long as we can fight, we are going to fight. This is our mindset.
They stayed there and covered that sector until the very last man on the right flank pulled back, and they still stayed there. I'm on the radio. I can't get on the radio because we was dealing with the casualty, and they stayed there, and they pulled back right at the very end when we had no choice but to pull back. And that's the difference between the 5% and the non-5%. That's the difference between having big balls. But like Grizzly explained, he's not going to leave his brothers. He's not gonna pull back like some pussy, because they was relying on him, and Grizzly was relying on them. We was all relying on each other, and that's why you have to have people you can trust. And they did a fucking absolutely outstanding job. He took some severe wounds. Like I told you, the one on behind his trap was fucking the gash on it. You'll see a picture. If it was a couple of inches high, he'd be dead. It would have fucking done his throat. And they continued fighting right to the end. And that's something. And look at us now. We're still sat here. We're still regrouping and ready to go back. And these are brothers that you will carry with you for the rest of your life. You can't get this anywhere else. But at this point, they're heavily in.
This is so good, dude. I love this shit. We're already at 40 minutes in, you guys, so it's my first video back from that training that I was in, so we'll keep it there. But then we'll come back and we'll have a part. Technically, this will be part 2, then we'll have a part 3 and probably a part 4, okay? So come back and watch. Do me a favor, please check out Athena, and I'll tag their channel at the very least in the description of this video and the title of this video. Check out their YouTube channel, check out their Instagram, hit them up if you are, if you believe you're part of this, the 5% he talks about, right? You can tell that these guys are some serious fighters. So check out their team. Please like, share, subscribe. We're back, baby. No more trainings for a bit. I love you. We'll see you in the next video.